Hello everybody, it's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm, and I got my sun hat going today. It's about midday. I've already been to town this morning taking care of all the animals, and I had something that I ordered that came in. So I went and picked it up, and we're about to take the tractor for another reason, not because I picked something up. That's for another purpose. But first, we're gonna go see what I picked up. I got it in a cardboard box, if that gives you any kind of clue. And then we're gonna load something up. So this is gonna be a purposeful trip. Dee Dee is out here, and I thought she was gonna hop on the tractor with me and come to the barn, but she's decided that she wants to climb up under a car where it's shady. She doesn't wanna go back inside. She's got her eyes on me. So it may be that when she hears the tractor crank up, she comes a-running, because it is warm today, and hence my hat, keeping the sun off of me a little bit. We've got temperatures approaching 90 here today, and it's starting to feel like spring pretty consistently. I think the top and the sides on my bighorn side-by-side are going to need to come off soon, because it's starting to give off that greenhouse effect. You know, it's nice when it's cold outside. It definitely keeps that cold wind off of you, and it keeps you comfortable. But when it gets up into these temperatures, it's nice to be able to take it off. So we're going to give it another week or so, but I'm on the tractor today, so no side-by-side for me. Here comes Dee Dee. I knew it. I hadn't even cranked up yet, but I'm going to grab her and we're going to go to the barn. All right, Dee Dee, you ready to go do some work, girl, or you just going to watch me work? I think you probably better make your way back in the house once we show everybody what we got this morning, because it's a little bit warm for a dark colored dog to be out in the sun today. I certainly don't want you to be uncomfortable just because you think you need to watch what I'm doing. Stay inside. Let's go. Well, Dee Dee, we made it to the barn, and I think everybody probably has figured out what I went and picked up this morning. But let's just go show those few that haven't figured it out exactly what we got. Well, upon entering the barn, I find the barn cat Bramble laying on a saddle blanket that we have just laying here so it dried out from Marycarl riding Resca, our newest addition here at Cog Hill Farm. She is a saddlebred horse, and Bramble said he kind of likes her being here because she's brought along some soft things that get good rest, don't they, Bramble? You may wonder why I'm wearing this old hat that's all tore up, and there's a reason behind that, because that old hat is probably going to get beat up a little bit more than it already has as the day goes on. The first time that I wore this hat this year, Mo, one of our buck goats, decided to take a chunk out of it. And since then, I've had an accident where kind of tore the top up. So the other day I asked Jason to go and grab me a hat to keep the sun off of me, and he grabbed a good one that was in good shape, and I said, if you don't mind, will you grab that one that I've already tore up? So here I am wearing a tore up hat because it's probably gonna happen again. Do y'all hear something? Yep, I did it again. But these have been on order since cold weather actually. My local feed store, Jones Feed and Seed in downtown Clinton, was taking orders for some chicks that they were gonna have this spring. And Miss Teresa asked me if there was any that I wanted. And I said, well, let me take a look at the list. So of course, on that list was the lavender Orpingtons that I got just a couple of weeks ago. I'll show y'all those. The lavender Orpingtons are growing and doing very well. In their brooder, you can see how much they've actually grown in just this short period of time that I've had them here. They are down to 90 degrees on the incubator. I'll bump that down to 85 over the weekend. And I did not put what I have new in with them because they are going to need a higher temperature, being that they were just born. So what I had ordered was something that probably most of you knew that I wanted for a long time, and that was Marans or Marans. Now, I did pick up 5 of those from a feed store when I was just running an errand, and actually stopped in a feed store out of town and saw that they had some black copper Marans. But I already had these on order. So what do you think it is that I have? If it was special and I couldn't get it all the time, it's got to be a little different, right? Well, it is. They're dark egg layers. They're Marans or Marans, but these are the blue copper Marans. And I just love that color. It's something that I have wanted to add to the flock. So I ordered 5 of them. I could have ordered more than 5, but I was trying to keep myself under control, which I don't always do. But this time, instead of 6 that I got of the lavender Orpingtons because somebody didn't pick one up, everybody had picked their chicks up. So I only got the 5 that I ordered, which was probably a good thing. So I can see that they're all up here in the front, which I'm surprised about because usually new chicks are in the back of the brooder, but they are in the front. So y'all get to see these girls up close and in front. What are y'all doing? How come you're hanging out in the front? The heater's in the back. I guess because it's so warm outside, they don't feel the need to be directly under the heat. But y'all can see the little feathers on their feet, hence a characteristic of the Maran breed. And they've got a little, some of them have some white on them, some of them don't. But that's just another characteristic of that blue copper Maran. And I am super excited to see these girls start laying in about 4 or 5 months from now. So right now they seem all healthy. These were shipped in from a hatchery, which most chicks are. They did come in to her yesterday, and I did ask her if I could pick them up this morning, because usually by that time they've had a chance to settle down a little bit and realize that their stress is probably over from their long distance travel. Now, we only had to go a few miles to get back to the house, so yes, they were back in the car in a box for a little bit, but not for long at all. And I did have the brooder warm for them when they arrived, so they wouldn't have to huddle up and get used to huddling with each other. And they knew they were going to be in a safe, warm spot with food and water immediately upon arrival. So I brought my tractor to the barn for a reason, and I hope it's here. I hope what I'm looking for is in the barn. I'm looking around because it's always a mystery as to where we put something last. We have quite a bit of tools in this barn as well as farm stuff. And Jason mentioned to y'all that we are in the process of talking with Brant about a shop. And a shop being built here on the farm in a separate location from this barn would eliminate a lot of unnecessary items being in here that don't need to be. And we've been saving since we built the barn, knowing that at some point we would like to have a shop. And it just so happens that it seems that now is as good a time as any, since we have saved and put aside to go ahead and give Brant the go-ahead to build that shop. Now, we're going to go over to the other side of the property, and that is where the shop will go, but that's not what we're working on. Mr. Greg did bring us some dirt that's going to be used for the foundation, and so you're going to see a few piles of red clay, so to speak, that'll be used for the foundation. But I came over here in this corner of the barn to get something that's not used very often. Right here, you guys probably see, it's a pressure washer. So we got to get that loaded up and go over to the other side of the property where it's going to be used. And you're going to see on what in just a second. The pressure washer's at the back of the barn, and I caught a glimpse of Mr. Willie and Miss Resca out back where they're grazing in some of the grass that's not been cut around here. What you talking about, Jessie? Okay, so Jessie and Honey are back here too. They didn't want me to forget about them. Mr. Willie here says he wants to tell everybody to have a wonderful Easter, whatever you may be doing, because he and Resca are going to enjoy their time together. They're going to enjoy this weekend, eat plenty of grass and clover, and just thankful for the Cog Squad. Thankful for y'all all saying nice things about these two beautiful horses that have come to spend the rest of their life here at Cog Hill Farm. And one more thing while I'm out here is I can catch a glimpse of Miss Tater. My last video I showed y'all her changes in her udder, and she's definitely changed. Most of you all were in agreement that the shape of her backside has even changed. Her udder has developed profusely over the past week or so, and we're just hoping for an Easter bunny. I mean, this video will be out on Easter Sunday, but as soon as she does have her calf or calves, we will certainly let you guys know. So as of today, no calf. What you doing out there, girl? You just grazing around. Okay. Well, I just want to show everybody that you don't have a calf yet and you're hanging out. I think our next big system, rain system, is coming in next Tuesday. You know, they tend to say that when the pressure changes, calves tend to give birth. So I don't know. I've just about given up. I know it's going to happen, but I'm not looking at the cameras night and day like I once was. I just know that I'm checking on her. I'm doing the best I can, and I'll be there if she were to need me. Press that button if you need me, girl. All right, Mr. Willie and Miss Resca, y'all enjoy your afternoon. Beautiful sunshiny weather here at the farm, and y'all just take care of things. And both horses have been around dogs, so we made sure of that before, of course, we ever let Dee Dee, Holly, the boys, anybody, cats, everybody's been around them, and we have seen their temperament to know there isn't a threat for anybody, thankfully, with the two new rescue horses. See that? I hit my hat on these doors. The hat's a lot bigger than my head, in case y'all didn't notice. And it's just easy to hit it on stuff and to make it go out of shape. I mean, it's not nearly the shape it used to be, but hey, we're fixing to use a pressure washer. We don't need a pretty hat, do we? I get my pressure washer loaded up and I'm calling my dog, Dee Dee, Dee Dee, Dee Dee. She's nowhere to be seen. I take off to go where I'm going. She's beating me on the way home. If she'd have waited on me, she could have called a ride, but nope. She's way ahead of me. She's turning around looking at me now like she thinks she made a mistake. But I worked on the tractor last night until dark. I'm gonna show y'all what I did while we drive by, and that is started moving this second pile of topsoil that we have here. It's been being used for the dogs, somewhere to play and climb, and they actually built quite a large cave in there where they were getting up in there on these hot afternoons, but I worked on that till dark, getting about half of the pile moved. So when I finish this project today, I plan to get back on that and get that dirt moved so we can get some seed put out and get it covered up with a couple of more of those old bales of hay. Went and picked up some more of it. He actually told me that if I don't come and get what I need soon, he's gonna have to put it in a hole to fill it up to get that old hay out of his way, because he's got new hay that he's going to be cutting soon and got to have a place for it. So I plan to go get at least 4 more bales of the old hay that he has that's not useful for feeding animals, and just store it. It can be stored outside. We've got lots of places that we would like to put grass in the future. And believe it or not, old round bales of hay that are cheap are hard to find. And y'all see Dee Dee? She's up by Jason's truck going on to the porch over there. Got Bandit hanging out under the truck. I'm gonna go let her in before I get started so that way she won't get too hot. Yeah, I knew you'd want to come in, girl. I'll let you know when I get finished and you can come out, okay? That work? There you go. I've reached my destination. And that is this old, used to be a hay wagon that we are converting into a chicken coop, little by little. Caden was over last weekend and he helped Jason pull most of this old metal that was on the top of it that we didn't need. We didn't need that metal on here, so I actually went to Atlanta, Georgia and picked up some expanded metal. It's just like the floor in our current chicken bus that we're using, and it was a great deal. It was worth the drive, a couple of 3 hours to get over there and get that metal for a much less expensive price. But our plan is to get this frame pressure washed today, and Caden's gonna come over this weekend and hopefully we can get the frame treated with a rust preventative and painted with a rust preventative paint, and that'll be one step closer to having this chicken wagon being built. Jason and Caden, when they took all the metal off, it's just laying on the ground here, but my plan is to get that loaded on my trailer. And y'all probably saw the older video a few weeks ago where I went and got that piece of big slab of metal that I'm going to use to make a bridge across the creek. And I did get it off the trailer. However, I did not video it. So my trailer is empty. It is able to put this old metal on, and hopefully this afternoon after I get this pressure washed, we can indeed get that metal put on the trailer and off the ground so it won't be an eyesore anymore, and also we don't need it. So we're gonna take it for scrap and maybe we'll get a few dollars for Coca-Cola or something. It's probably about what I'm expecting out of it. So I'm gonna get my water hose hooked up, get the pressure washer out and get to work. And I see Jason over there. I don't know if y'all can see him, but he just went by. He's dragging the pasture to make sure there's no manure and it is clean. I tell you, I shouldn't say this, but this pressure washer has been a good one. Every time here lately, when I go to crank it, I say here lately, every time since we've bought this pressure washer, when I go to crank it, a couple of pulls and I'm good. So let's see how she does today. I've already filled it up with gas, so I know that's good. I haven't cranked this. Well, it's been a bit. You can see how dusty it is. There we go. I am all through pressure washing. I'm a little dirty, but I got to thinking while I was pressure washing, that wasn't a job that took a whole long time, but Caden's gonna put the rust preventative on it, and it's probably gonna take a lot of time. So I'm wondering if I can't clear out the 2 hay bales that are just for landscape purposes and park this trailer, this hay wagon, under there so he can have some shade and he won't be out in the 90-degree weather all day. It'll be a lot cooler in the shade. So I'm gonna go take my bucket off my tractor, see if I can't get my forks attached. I've got pallets all stacked up under there, and obviously I can't pull the trailer under there if there's pallets there. So first things first, I gotta put the forks on and see what Jason thinks about this idea. I don't know about y'all, but I think the hole in my hat's getting a little bigger as the day goes on. That's okay, because I got the forks put on the tractor, and now I'm gonna attempt to clean this shed out. The biggest thing is all the pallets that we have stored under here that we set the hay on so it wouldn't rot on the bottom. Now this hay is no good. It's just good for landscaping purposes, which is covering seeds in our case. But I do want to stack these pallets. I put one over to the side just to see where I was going to put the rest of them. use my forks and stack the rest of them, and then put my hay spear on and hopefully get this hay that we intend to cover up some seeds moved out from under here. It doesn't need to be under here. I just put it under here because it wasn't being used. So yeah, first steps first. Let's get these pallets moved. I was thinking I was going to have to take the pallet forks off in order to move the hay bale, but I attempted to put my forks up under it. And look at here. Now, if this was a good bale of hay that I was going to feed the animals that I was scared I'd tear up, I wouldn't be doing this. But it's just a hay bale that's going to be unrolled, and it's moving it. So, save me a little work. Just going to set it out here beside the pallets over to the side and continue moving the rest of the pallets. Well, that wasn't too bad. The tractor made easy work out of it. So got the pallets moved. I'm gonna go put the hitch on the front of this attachment that I have on the tractor and pull the hay wagon over here and see how much of it will fit under here. I have a feeling I'm gonna have about 10 foot hanging out. Maybe not that much, but needless to say, it'll be more shade for Caden to put the paint on than it would be out in the blazing sun. I got over here, I was looking at what I needed to hook it up, and I don't think I can get backed in here with this pile of metal behind me, so I'm gonna get it cleaned up first, put over in the other side where I've got a pile going already, then go get my receiver hitch so I can pull the wagon. Let's see if I can't get it pulled over there. This is going to be the great thing about the new wagon, is it has 4 wheels, and I could pretty much move it by myself. Whereas the current one, we've got on jack stabilizers, and it takes us a couple of hours with us both working as hard as we can. This one has a axle that turns in the front, so we can basically maneuver it anywhere we want to. We can move it literally every day if we want to. So much easier than the current one. I hope we're not adding this footage to a bloopers reel. I mean, the top of my tractor almost hits the top of the shed, but so far so good. It's gonna be a little tight, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. As long as that back wheel doesn't catch, we're good. I need to get it to where, I mean, Caden's not a big guy, but I don't think he can fit in that little tiny area. Pull back some and then back it up so he can get on both sides. There we go. I accomplished what I set out to do today, and that's a good feeling. At the end of the day, if you've achieved what your goal was, good for you, good for me. But you can see that this end is where the morning sun's gonna hit. So in the morning, he may be in the sun. He may want to start at this end and then work his way that way. I'm gonna get it unhooked from the tractor, going down to the old barn where I have some POR 15. That is a good rust stop. And then I've got some of the POR 15 paint that goes on top of it. And the parts that he doesn't get that coated, we'll spray in rubber undercoating spray. That's the plan. And I'm happy with what got accomplished today. There was a lot of dirt on here. When I pressure washed, you could see the red mud coming off, and that was what I was after, was getting any kind of, you know, dust or dirt that would prevent the paint from sticking off of there. I wasn't necessarily trying to get it perfectly clean. I just wanted something for that paint to adhere to. So accomplished my goal, and we're one step closer to starting construction. Well, I guess this is construction, but starting building construction on the Hay Chicken Wagon. We need names. What can y'all think of? Need to start thinking of names, because it's gonna be awesome. And I think y'all are gonna love it as much as the chickens do. Stay tuned. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And until next time, y'all be good.